Let's now bring in Stephen Zunes, who's Professor of Politics and Director of Middle East Studies at the University of San Francisco, joining us live from Boston. Stephen, good to talk to you again. You and I spoke last week when the deal was just announced between Israel and Hamas. We are now at the point where hostages will soon be released at last.
Yes, it's really exciting to see this finally coming to fruition. Obviously, for the loved ones and others who are concerned about the hostages, but also, of course, we've had 24 hours or more of quiet in Gaza. The people there being relieved from the endless bombardment that they've dealt with for most of the past 2 years. And the tough part's coming ahead, but it appears that the first phase of this agreement does seem to be moving forward.
And when I spoke to you last week, you did say you were more optimistic about this ceasefire. But, of course, there's a long and very difficult road ahead to get to the point of peace. But today we've got 20 global leaders from all over the world, many from the Arab region, many from Europe, from elsewhere as well, coming together in Sharm el-Sheikh with President Trump, with the President of Egypt. So your take on the momentum we are seeing at this point?
I think this is potentially significant. Remember, there was a ceasefire back in January. The first phase went through a schedule, but then Netanyahu decided to break it with no apparent objections from Washington. This time, however, you have President Trump going in there personally. You have leaders from around the world, along with the Secretary General and others. This does definitely give it a little more heft. This really seems to indicate that the international community really wants this ceasefire to actually hold for both sides to live up to the terms. And therefore, I think it does give it some more momentum for the difficult negotiations ahead to work on the other points in the plan.
And you say there's more momentum, there's more hope, there's more optimism this time. Of course, President Trump is saying this is the end of the war. In his mind, we've arrived. But of course, the work has to begin. And the question is, will he have to be as engaged, do you think, all the way through in order to see the end result of peace in this particular occasion?
Well, not necessarily. I think as long as there are mediators from the Arab states and from others who are willing to bring things forward to try to convince both parties it's in their interest. Obviously, the issues ahead, like Hamas's refusal to disarm, is certainly a serious issue. But that may be very much related to the ambiguity the Israelis have been showing regarding the extent of the withdrawal, the timetable for the withdrawal, and what is this governing body going to be like? Netanyahu and Trump have ruled out the Palestine Authority, the recognized Palestinian government, from playing a role. They're talking vaguely about some kind of technocratic Palestinian group, but this kind of board of peace that they talk about, which include President Trump and Tony Blair, what's that going to look like? Will Palestinians want to effectively be governed by a country with a colonial heritage like
to
Britain
be fair,
and the
Stephen,
US?
so far, the Palestinian leaders that I've talked to here on BBC News and my colleagues as well, they're all pretty unified in saying, no, we don't want an international body governing us. We can do this ourselves.
Exactly. There's definitely a neo-colonial element to this proposal that you don't have to be a Hamas supporter to have serious concerns about. So this really is going to be a sticking point. And of course, the reconstruction, and that's going to be huge. It's going to be expensive. And will the Gulf states or others want to contribute if there's a risk of the war resuming? So there are many important issues that still need to be worked out.
But what's good to see as well is that the Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas is attending the summit in Egypt. That has been confirmed. So he is in attendance. And that's critical, isn't it, to have all the key players, the stakeholders in the room?
Very much so. I mean, the Palestine Authority has been pretty marginalized in the past 2 years, even though they are the recognized Palestinian government. They've been struggling in the West Bank as Israeli settlers and troops have seized more and more land and destroyed more homes and orchards and the like, and has got a really nasty situation there. And they're trying to say, hey, we are the moderates. We are the ones who are between Hamas, who wants it all to be an Islamic state, and Israel, who wants it all to be under Jewish control. We want a two-state solution. We want to try to coexist. And so I think having a boss there is a way of saying, "Hey, folks, remember me?" that they need to be part of the process as well.
Okay. Stephen Zunes, thank you once again for talking to us.